Okay.
Well,
all right.
if you're
all
guys
right.
are gonna be like that,
I'm sorry.
which limb is the one that you use the most? Because, or which one do you want not to be broken?
Yeah, I was gonna.
We're live, by the way, everybody. At the stroke of 6
Oh, the
o'clock.
stroke. All right.
Yeah, at the stroke of 6 o'clock, we went live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another DMing Hadley's game, where John didn't show up, and so we're gonna play without him because that's how we do it. We're not gonna do a whole lot of futzing around here. We're gonna get right to work. It's my birthday month, which means that I get burgers from Red Robin. But right now, I need y'all to do the round robin. And during the round robin, we like to do 4 distinct things. The first thing we do is introduce ourselves. The second thing we do is share with one another and the world of pronouns. The third thing we do is introduce our characters. And the fourth and final thing is offer a vivid, aesthetic description of our characters so that they may live in each and every one of our brain holes, because I like to vividly hallucinate with my friends on the internet for 2 to 3 hours at a time, multiple days per week, and today is no different. So without further ado, Xander, please do take it away and show the folks at home how it's done.
Hey, Xander, he, him pronouns playing Narasine.
And there he is.
She is your fey flagellant with... Or, I'm sorry, your flagellant flagellant fey.
With
the woman of pain is her bae.
Okay. Back by the woman.
I believe now we're out of our basic dress. I think I'd stolen like a nice like kind of frilled dress with like some, I think it was like an ocean blue. I think it was like a blue dress.
I can't remember. I was wondering if there was like a tartan or a pattern to it.
Yes, there was like that not paisley,
because there was like
the checkered board, but it was like you'd said it was like a certain kind where like it's only when you're up close and you see the threading or something like that.
Yeah, it's got that sort of sheen to, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Yes, and then the lace edged. That's very nice.
Being dragged away kicking and screaming from the only potion shop that we had come in contact with in our entire time so far in Barovia, could have had some potions of healing.
Maybe.
Well, we'll never know now.
Somebody just wanted to scoop all the potions into one bag all at once.
Well, I didn't know they had a potion bag.
I mean, they're actually like little wooden racks that they sort of hang on, and then you sort of tie a string around them that sort of holds the bottles in against the wood, and then you slide that actually into a larger like wooden frame with some wool on either side that sort of holds those bottles really gently, and then you usually keep that on like a sling and not somewhere where they'll all fucking crash together and explode.
You mean just not in one big bag where I'm just kind of...
Yeah, just literally scraping the entirety of an undeterminate level of powerful potions into a bag, yeah.
Okay, I mean, enough for next time. I've got my my chain whip on my lower back, sitting with its razor blades interspersed between each chain with a nice gnarly little hook at the end. Take my good hand. And I believe I've just got my long spike.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Just a little leather wrapped
around. I like the crisscross blade that just leaves a wounding puncture in people. It is also feathered.
Yes.
Yeah. And, speaking of a bit of ichor and viscera. Yeah. Viscera. All right, Rob, do the thing.
All right, Crosscode, Rob, go by him, and I play another Merrick, human sailor, abandoned by his mother, raped by his father at sea, and later on discovered magical talents that he later practiced more at a monastery of monks. Later on in life, he just decided to go on multiple adventures to just try to follow the wind of the sea, and ended up just traveling the dimensions, in particular the domains of dread, draconic, with draconic talent of both, well descended dragon and with draconic sorcery. He just goes forward and tries to put some order into things and not get a migraine. Other than that, well, human of 5'11", about 27 years old, with dark pants, dark leather boots, a sash, black shirt with the sleeves rolled up to the elbows, two bracers. One hand is completely, one forearm and hand is completely made of metal, and a blue half coat of leather, made of leather, that is just dark blue, and a blue headscarf. And his face, some the spotches of his dark hair, maybe a little bit of a beard, just little bit, beginning stubble.
When is the last time you've been in? Just a quick question. You've been traveling amongst the planes. Nola, did you ever see yourself as an interplanar traveler who befriends gods and holds, like, sway in the pantheon?
I did. Well, in all honesty, Nola doesn't know that he holds any sway on the pantheon. He doesn't believe it. And from a personal perspective, and other than that, no, he never imagined, and I never imagined either.
You stole a part of the most powerful artifact in literal Dungeons and Dragons with a god.
That was a happy accident, if anything.
You had tea with the Raven Queen, and Sat.
Yes.
And the old man.
Yeah.
My guy is basically a godly courtesan at this point.
It's pretty good. Speaking of courtesans, Tiva Panic.
It's funny that I still looked at the phone and I heard that.
Hello. Hi, I am Ativa Panic, and I use its pronouns, but not really any pronoun. It's fine. That's kind of the point of being in it. I just exist. Unfortunately, sometimes. Fortunately, sometimes. Today I am playing Svetlana. Svetlana is a tall, gaunt-looking woman who has really, really defined features, very pale skin, like in sunlight, almost even translucent. And she is a Dampier barbarian rogue blood hunter. Just started like manifesting her own psionic powers through her roguiness.
You mean because she's so angry all the time she can now physically create weapons?
Yeah, she's had a really cool like Hulk transformation. Really the only thing that ever calls the big guy out against her will is this motherfucker that we're standing in front of right now. But so she's 6'2", very slender, beautiful, giant fake tits, that are often like protruding heavily from whatever blouse she might be wearing, which right now she is actually very, very simply dressed. If someone were to spot her on the streets of Barovia, they would just think that she is another Barovian woman, unless they looked at her feet, because she will not, in fact, wear shoes unless they are her fucking heels, which she does not have.
That wasn't. I want to be very clear. That was not planned.
No, I took those off. Well, I took the other heels off, but those weren't my original heels anyway.
I know.
I don't know where the boots that Miracine gave me are. So
well,
you're welcome, by the way.
You can roll a history check for that in a little while.
I already said thank you for that. Okay. Anyway,
You were very
Right now,
gracious.
she's actually very simply dressed, probably wearing some like pretty tight fitting like trousers that just kind of go down to her like mid thigh. Maybe she probably just like tore the bottoms off of a pair of pants, and is like wearing just like trousers, and then just like a flimsy fucking cotton blouse that is like slightly torn in half and like ripped. The whole like bottom half of it is ripped, so it's literally just like covering her tits, and like she tore off the sleeves too, so it's like a tank top.
Quick question: Did you
Yeah.
just tear it along the seams, or did you just sort of rend the sleeves off? Is it oh no? Oh no! Oh no!
But it is, but it's like
Welcome back.
like she tore it right. Oh hi, sorry, did I leave you?
Yeah. And then you got and then you went again. You're gonna have to do the call in part. Yeah, you're gonna have to call in like a pleb. You have to use your actual phone. I hope that comes through. Yep. Yep. Mm-hmm. And I'm DMing Hadley. He, him pronouns here for 65% or so of your DMing needs because I don't do maps. We will wait for just a second for Ativa to join us again, hopefully. How are you? How are y'all feeling about the adventure so far? Just take a little time out.
Interested to see how we interact with the next people we come across, because we've a little bit of a fighting between the parents.
The parents have been fighting. The parents have been fighting.
Hello?
Hello and welcome back.
Back.
Ativa Panic, everybody.
Hi. Anyway, I hope this works.
Did you tear along the seam or was it rended?
It tore along the seam, but she tugged it like just right at the fucking like middle, of the tricep, and
Sure.
like just tugged it hard enough that it just like ripped the threading at the seam.
Got it. Very good.
So it's like there might be some frayed threads kind of dangling, but it's mostly just torn. And then the bottom, she literally like just took one of her claws and fucking like ripped the bottom off and made it a crop top, and then like just split it down the middle enough so that there's like just enough cleavage showing. She has really, really long raven black hair that just dangles down to like probably her knees if it's not up, which it probably isn't because she was all in like super formal wear. Actually, it might be up because she was in like super formal wear.
I imagine sort of a like partial updo. She
probably has like one of those big fancy donut buns, but then you can see that the hair that dangles down from the donut bun like goes down to her butt. And also the bun itself is probably hella fucked up. Like she's been through some shit.
It's got some viscera in it.
Like there's probably stray hairs fucking flying off her head and shit. And she has always just been bent on fucking revenge. She wants nothing more than to destroy Strahd at his core and like just abolish his existence. However, she is recently struggling with that fact because she's also now starting to realize that abolishing him completely, like to her, would be kind of a mercy because he keeps trying to fucking bring back this woman that he loves that has absolutely no fucking interest in him. And I was a good fucking woman to him. And so I'm like, man, do I want to kill him really though? How can I maybe just like make him suffer more in this domain?
Oh, the questions. Whatever shall we do? Yeah. DMing Hadley, he, him pronouns. 65% or so of your DM needs. Let's roll for initiative.
Oh joy! You did say we got a long rest, right?
You did actually. I was thinking about this. How disgusted I was that you guys got a long rest because Narasine knocked everybody unconscious and collapsed a building on top of you.
You're fucking welcome. You're welcome. By the way, you're welcome.
I want to be very clear.
21.
Yup. Oh shit.
We've
All right.
taken damage since then, though. At least I have.
You have.
13.
Narasine with a 21, and I'll roll for you in just a moment. For Sveti.
Yes, for the viewers at home, Hadley is rolling for me tonight because I am driving on the highway.
I'm on a highway to hell.
Every day!
That's a 17 for Sveti. Oh god. 17. 17, children. How much for Noller?
13.
13 for Noller. Please, 13 for Noller. And... Okay. Okay. Arena got a 20. All right. So we rolled for initiative, but I want to set the scene for you here. Sort of a cutscene moment. You see Strahd. He turns something over between his fingers. It's about yay big and silver. And you see him
You're
just
gonna have to tell me how big, because I cannot see you.
about the size of your pinky finger.
Okay.
He sort of turns it over. It looks like a little rod, shiny and chromed. And as he runs it up the inside of his hand, you see that it has a tapered end and a cut at an angle across the middle, showing that it's hollow. And he reaches up with it and presses it to his lips and blows. And
Fuck.
the sound that you hear borders on Noller, the edge of your hearing at all. You're pretty well attuned to things from your monk training, but this is like way up in an upper register that you're not used to like tuning into. You can feel it, but it's way up there. Narasine, this is one of many tones of pain that you've experienced at the hands of the lady, and so you can sort of key into it, and as it feels like it sort of slashes at your eardrums, delight in the sensory overload. Svetlana, you go into a rage immediately. And then you hear all of you. Sveti, you don't hear it quite as clearly. You hear the rustling of heavy chains, and an anguished scream, which descends into a snarl.
What about the rustling of jimmies?
Roll me a Constitution saving throw to see how significantly your jimmies are rustled.
Got you.
Also, Hadley, if I'm actually raging, then you have a bunch of dice to roll.
That is correct. I most assuredly do.
14. Those are some decently rustled jimmies.
Your jimmies quiver along with your eardrums. because you hear this like sort of shriek of pain, which becomes more bestial and guttural. And what really sets everything in motion for you is the sound of cracking bones coming from around the corner of a building, just sort of like to the left and behind
Cracking
Strahd.
bones.
Yeah, it sounds like somebody's taking bones and putting them over like a metal bar and then just snapping them and then twisting them in like
Oh, fuck, is that more of me? Wait, can I hear that too?
I
it's
thought that was
muffled.
Fetty making the
It's
noise.
muffled for you, because of your own sort of like. It's less significant for you than what you hear. And he hits a torch, like lamppost, and you see him just wrap around it and crumple, and then fall, and then hit the ground, and it sort of sends up a little bit of dust. And then you see Strahd as he smirks and retracts this whistle, and he turns and says, "Enjoy." And
Oh, I thought that was one of his creatures had come flying and then just hit a hole and was like, ha ha.
no, it's just a man
So this was
about
just like
5'7", 5'8".
like they
He
took it and they threw it.
sheared off, and you hear the heavy chain fall to the ground. And then you just hear scrape, and you see this gray streak launch from behind a building across the length of the street behind Strahd as he's sort of just walking off scene, and you see it sideways against the building. This absolutely tremendous looking, well, werewolf, and it jumps sideways towards your party, and the first thing it does.
What are you guys freaking out about? What else? What is it? What is it? What is that in the air?
Yeah, it leaps towards Svetlana, and comes to sort of like a sliding halt, kicking up dust into your face as you're still mid-transition.
Wait.
Yes.
It's okay, but like mid transition means that shit's happening, so he's about to get caught up in all the middle of this.
That is correct. Let's see
I'm just
here.
going to scream out, it's a wolf!
It's
Let's
corn.
see. It's not corn.
I thought you were blind, not deaf, it's wolves!
She's just saying that it's got the juice. It's got the juice.
Hybrid transformation, psychic blades. Where's your rage? Yes.
You have to do a D8 and then whatever dice.
There it is. All the way at the goddamn bottom.
Yep.
Oh shit. You teleport up to 30 feet to an unoccupied space you can see. Until your
Hell
rage
yeah.
ends, you can use this effect again on each of your turns as a bonus action. 30
Hell
feet.
Yeah, I want to teleport right behind that motherfucker.
Okay. Do you want to get? You want to get on the other side of the werewolf? He's huge, by the way. He's like.
How far away is Strahd?
He's within range for sure.
Already?
No, he's
Okay.
just sort of walking off to the side here.
I want to teleport to right in front of him, like with the intention of having my arm out to grab his fucking throat when
Okay.
I get there.
Let's start. Okay, we're gonna start with that. You hang on to that for your turn. But you can go there from this surge.
Yeah.
Let's also figure out what other delightful things happen during your wild magic surge, shall we? I love this list.
Oh my
Alright.
God, Svetlana, who is that? Where did she go?
Yep.
She's going after Strahd.
Strahd, say something again so I know what direction you're in.
Something again.
Gotcha.
Let's see here.
I feel like this is all happening way too fast for that exchange to even happen, but
Okay, y'all. Hey,
Well, I go
guys.
before you, so technically I said it before you.
Hey, folks. Hey.
Hey.
All magical weapons within 30 feet of the
No.
caster are increased by
Oh,
+2 for 1d4 turns.
Okay.
hell yeah.
So we get a +2.
+2 to... I'm going to just make it +2 to attack and damage for whatever magical... Yeah, whatever magical items or weapons you use.
How does that affect my hand on martial arts?
I mean, it's
Just be a +2, right?
+2.
Okay.
It's magical. It's a magical implement on your arm.
It's corn.
And it's like super... I'm going to take away the inspiration that I gave you last time if you do that again. Yeah, as you sort of bamf out of the way, and in front of Strahd, this thing comes like skidding in, expecting to like grab you, and you just it comes
With a
sliding.
snarl. I poofed with a snarl. I was like, "Arr!" And then I just poofed.
Yeah, I mean, you were probably in a very uncomfortable situation when you just sort of like mid-transformation look up, see Strahd, and all of a sudden the last of it just happens right in front of him. He's gonna... Hey, Narasine and Noller, this guy's gonna come sliding past you with, some fucking speed. He was expecting to hit a body and didn't, and is going to literally, like, bowl right between the two of you.
I want to give him a poke.
Give him a poke.
Can I also give him a roundhouse kick to the face?
To do it, absolutely. He's just sort of sliding across the dirt right now. This poor
Mod 20.
fucking guy. Nice, that's gonna hit for sure.
23.
Is
Oh.
he within 5 feet of allies when I hit? So do I get my
Yeah,
sneak?
no, he's literally sliding right between you and Noller. Like, you guys just sort of, like, step and turn back, and he's just sort of, like, all claws in the dirt, trying to, like, stop himself as y'all just roundhouse kick and fucking stab as he goes sliding past you.
23 damage, and he's wounded.
Jeez. Okay. All right. This is we are off to a fucking start now.
12 bludgeoning, magical, and 5 blinding.
17, and how many was it for?
How many was it?
For whom?
For Narasine? How much damage
Oh,
was it?
23.
23? Jesus, 40 points of damage. Right through the fucking Thresher.
And then at the start of its turn, it takes that D4,
Let's...
which again compounds.
All
Go
right,
ahead.
magical weapons. That should be a +2. So +2 to that 17.
Yeah, so another
Oh,
4
yeah.
another 4 damage on top of that's going to be 44.
Nice.
Y'all fucking send him through some shit on his way past the two of
And
you.
then whenever his turn comes, D4 and another con save.
Yeah, go ahead and roll me that D4 right now, and we'll do the con save and see what's up. He fails the
DC
con.
50.
He fails the con save.
All right, he's still wounded then, and if I hit him again, he gets 2d4 next time.
Okay.
That's another 2 damage.
Excellent. Yeah, you see him come to like a scratching stop, and then you see him like reach up to his chest, and you just see like a roof of like blood sort of pour through his claw, and he looks up at you, and he
I think-
sort of like pulls his claw away, And as it does, you start to see this wound, this sort of like star shape of flesh and fur, beginning to like close itself back up.
I think it's like there's like the sword being almost alive. It like is tessellating with the blood. Almost like when you hear the tessellating, it almost sounds like the like laughter or something maybe, or just like something like that. But it's like one of those noises where it's like, if you hear this noise and you hear hello or like orange, da da da, but you're like, holy shit, wait, was that laughter?
Yeah. Have you seen ferrofluid? I imagine the blood sort of like dances like ferrofluid as it's being like drawn into this blade.
Definitely.
Big fucking start. Narasine, it's your turn.
I mean, I'm gonna rush him.
Okay.
I'm gonna just put it all into the blade. We'll do 2 swipes and a bonus action booming.
Dope. Okay. You want to do the booming first?
Yeah, let's knock the booming out first.
Okay.
This will be +2. No advantage, right? Because he's not flanked or anything like that.
No, he is not at this
Okay,
point. Cool. He just sort of moved past you, and you guys got oppos.
Gotcha. And he's past anyone, so I won't get sneak, right?
Correct.
Okay, cool. Just making sure. All right. 22 to hit.
Yeah. This is an unarmored, very large werewolf.
17 off that one, and once again wounded.
17.
So he'll take 2d4 at the beginning of his next turn.
Did you add the extra 2 for your weapon damage?
Oh, you're
Great.
right.
Got it. I added it. It's good.
Yeah. Okay. And then here come my other two pokes. I only get to wound him once per like turn,
yes.
So that's fine. A 23 to hit, and then a natural 1 to hit.
Okay, perfect.
A natural 1, I'm guessing, will miss.
The 23 is gonna hit. Strangely enough, a natural 1 does miss, but go ahead and give me that damage to start with there.
It'll be 12.
Okay. Perfect. Oh, you gonna smite it? All right.
Yeah.
God, look at this. You guys are fucking playing Dungeons and Dragons today.
What spell levels do I have again? I think I only have 1, 2. I'll use second level smite.
Okay.
I'll use one of the pack slots for that, so I'll get that back after a shorty. And I think it's
3d8.
It's 3d8 for a second level. Gotcha. Which tacks on another nice 14 damage.
Radiant. Wow. Radiant damage. Okay.
So I like to think this is all, even though it was like the opportunity and everything, I like to like flavor it all as just that one strike where like it like digs in as she comes up, and then you kind of see like that crank of the shaft, and you can almost see like up the blade, you can see those like little tendrils and teeth unfurling as like it does it, and then just as it licks, then just as it comes out, just like that huge radiant boom.
Yeah, I love that.
And you get the thunder and the radiant all in one.
Well, go ahead and roll me up that thunder damage, because this thing is going to use its reaction to leap onto you, and try and cause you harm.
5 feet of movement gets it another 8 damage.
Okay.
Yeah, and if it's a, do I have any? Because if it's a new turn, I'd have my reaction again, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So I'll just hellish rebuke it whenever it attacks me.
Okay. Sweet. Hey, quick question. Does a 24 hit you?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. It leaps through the air, and you sort of like produce this rapier and give it a good twist as it comes in for that hit. And then you feel this just like in your ribs, up your clavicle, into your back, shoulder, bite. Just like most of this portion of your body is in its mouth, and it starts to just like give you a real good shaking.
Also, she moans a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. That's going to be 21 points of piercing damage, and can I get a Constitution saving throw, please?
Yes. Quan, there you are. 13.
Cool.
The inspiration. The inspiration. The inspiration. I didn't like that cool, so I'm just gonna.
No. I told you what the results were already. Cool.
All right. Oh yeah, Hellish Rebuke though.
Hellish Rebuke.
I believe that's a DC 18 Dexterity saving throw.
18. Yeah, that's yeah. Oh, when you do that Hellish Rebuke, you see this like tracer.
What that looks like, actually, it's not like the flame. I think what it is like that wound I'd already given him just kind of spurts out another like vout of blood.
Yeah. He does not look great. And then Irina shoots him. Good. With an arrow, which is a silvered broadhead. And
Get fucked.
that's going to be max damage. Okay.
Better hope she never turns on Sveti.
She shoots him right through the middle, and as she does, you hear this whisper on the wind, and see this like golden thread like catch up with the arrow, wrap between the fletching, and then around the broadhead as it sticks into this werewolf's back and twists through the body. And as it comes out the other side, Narasine, your face is sort of like sprayed with blood, but you also feel this strange sort of like energy behind it, almost like you can see that thread just hanging in space.
Can there be like a slow motion moment where it's like as that arrow probably goes through and it's just like wow?
It sticks in him. It goes. I mean, it comes out
okay.
the other side, but it sticks. The shaft sticks in him.
Okay, I was gonna say just give it a little twang.
The edge of that you can actually hear very distinctly. There is a sizzling of the blood on that broadhead, and you can smell that the silver is also being corroded as it bubbles.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I should dip my sword in some silver, but I don't want my sword to fucking disappear.
Yeah, that too.
And acid blood or some shit.
Yep. And Irina goes to draw her bow again, and Narasine, you get that same sort of flash. Svetlana, you see it out the corner of your eye, and Nolar, you see it up close and personal as this thing like leaps like tracer style towards Irina and pins her to the ground hard. And there's a faint trill that y'all hear, and he sort of goes sliding down, and just before he's about to swipe at Irina, stops. Svetlana, can I get a wisdom saving throw? Is I think how We're gonna do this
Oh no, it's a dog whistle.
with disadvantage.
Okay.
Here we go.
For one
Everybody
weakness, being a
get
bottom.
together. That's a 4.
Great.
Cool.
These dice are here to tell the story tonight.
I rolled them. I rolled them. Yeah. So, Svetlana, we see you like rear back. Like you're gonna take a shot at Strahd, and you hear just like, and you see that werewolf on top of Irina come to like a screeching halt, and you feel your knees go weak, and you start to feel your sort of elbow just sort of like bring that excited claw back a little closer to you. Yeah, Xander, you had a question?
I just multiverse interject really quick. It's just Devin standing over there in her high heels with the whistle, just like for one last
Oh,
fuck you.
wow.
And then he goes into the shadows and disappears.
No, this
in
one,
my head,
this
I was
one
like,
was,
"That's
this one
funny."
was Strahd in this case. So yeah, Svetlana, as you begin your turn, you let's just say, oh yeah, I'm sorry, I'm gonna do this to you. You're gonna still get a turn here in a second.
It's okay. If we have to put you down, I'll just bring you back.
But you get, as you see Strahd like take that whistle away from his mouth and smirk, you are struck with a vision. And you are sitting by a river, which you recognize. It's the one that runs through Barovia. And you see Strahd. And he is.
He's got an 8-pack.
He's only because he's particularly lithe. He is wearing sort of a loosely bloused shirt. It's only moderately puffy, but it is still definitely a puffy shirt. And pretty well fitted breeches, which he probably wore during his riding lessons earlier. He's barefoot right now, and is sort of like leaping and tumbling around on some wet grass by the bank. And as you watch him, he's sort of showing off for you. You see a much taller, much broader, and significantly more muscular man beginning to trod up over the hill, and you recognize Strahd's brother. And he moves into the scene with an air of authority. And you see Strahd as he starts to try and like almost pick a fight with his brother to show off. You know this for you, and there's something very strange as Strahd starts to like antagonize his brother, and his brother sort of fends him off, and then Strahd antagonizes him again. And you see Strahd's brother, he's sort of like slowly moving towards you with some intention, but Strahd keeps getting in the way. And just before he sort of gets to you, he's about 15 feet away. He says, "Brother, knock it off. We don't have time for this. I don't want to be party to this. Stop now." And you hear Strahd say, "No, one of these days I'm really going to get you." And you see him like grab his brother's arm and start to sort of like twisted around his back, like he's going to try and like put him in an arm lock. And you see his brother look down at you with sort of a sympathetic face. And he says, "I told you not to do that." And you see him just like wrench Strahd around and then just fucking deck him right in the mouth. And you see it.
Put Strahd in a fucking
Uh,
school locker.
Yeah, you see it like split his upper lip. And you see his like face immediately turn pink. A vision that, as Svetlana, you've never seen. And as you look, there's this secondhand embarrassment for him. And you see his brother sort of like turn and look back over his shoulder, and he's obviously like disappointed in what he's done. And as you experience that memory, sorry, there's motorcycles. As you experience
Vroom,
that
vroom.
memory, there's a strange sort of like sense of like family that sort of washes over you as you are standing in front of Strahd and he's blown this whistle, and you've been diminished a little bit. You're still raging, but it's sort of like he cast calm emotions on you. Still heightened, just not necessarily homicidal.
So with calm emotions, then can I not attack him?
You can attack him. This is for like narrative purposes here.
Right. How far away am I from him?
He's literally right in front of you, and you just sort of
Cool, so I'm
feel
gonna-
this like sensation.
I'm gonna still try and grab his throat.
Okay.
Immediately.
Okay. Let's take a look at an unarmed strike.
But I'm still raging, right?
You are still raging, correct?
Cool.
But as you
And
go ahead.
well, and I guess the second thing I was gonna ask is that if I'm in hybrid form and I'm raging,
Yeah.
would me like grabbing him? Well, I guess no, because like when I grab him, I'm not trying to hurt him. I'm just trying to like, I guess in a way, grapple him, but just by the throat.
Yeah. So, the way I did this was a contested check. As you go to sort of like grab him, you know he's quick. And so you sort of feint one way, and then literally as he's like smirking and moving from where you thought or where he thought you'd be grabbing him, you just sort of redirect and just really get him around the throat. Let's back that thing up.
Beep, 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 beep,
You look good. Won't you back that ass?
Okay.
What?
So I have him in my hand now.
Yeah, he looks shocked that you were able
Yes,
to
so-
grab him.
So I grab him and like I'm gonna basically like manifest. Oh no, sorry. I'm gonna grab the fucking revolver that's on my hip and just like press it against the middle of his chest.
Okay.
And look at him and say, you know, I could just start this whole thing all over again. You wake up in your castle, you have to find us all over again, and we just go round and round, Strahdy boy. We can do that. Or you can get your fucking goons out of here and like leave us alone for a little bit so we can at least collect our thoughts and play fair and play nice.
He smirks, and you feel the like the grapple around his throat. He's not even like fighting. Uh, but he
I'm gonna
reaches.
squeeze harder.
Yeah, he's smiling. You hear like a soft squelch. Um, he leans forward towards you, as far as he can, and blows a kiss at you, and then you feel his thumb hit your index finger, and you hear the gun go off.
God
Uh,
damn it! That's a silver bullet straight to his heart.
Did you just restart these? I didn't look up.
And you see his body slump down to the ground, and you just see this devilish smile as you begin to see blood tinged with black run out of his mouth, and you just see his eyes flutter for a moment, looking towards you before his body goes limp.
I'm gonna like audibly let out like a
Noller, it's oh, you got
and kick his body
okay.
He just called your bluff
like really
so
hard.
Yeah. Noller.
Ah.
Noller, what's up? There's a dog, man.
I noticed.
He's standing over Arena, and his claw is drawn back, but he seems to have paused for just a moment at Strahd's whistle. Who is you look over and see lying with a smile on his face in the middle of the street.
Very well, let's not waste time with the doggo then, and just time for a lightning strike. And I never actually got to use this one before, but it's you kind of there, so let's use it. Let's see.
Get it?
Come on, baby. 27.
Yeah, that's gonna hit nearly everything in the game.
Nearly. Let's see how this goes. This is 38 lightning damage.
Is this on the doggo?
On the doggo.
Okay.
But it is a direct. I think this basically is just calling for like a bolt of lightning, just straight, directly, precise on the doggo.
Okay.
38. Plus 3 will cause a sorcerer in this particular case, draconic sorcerer, and that will be a 41 actually.
41 total. Great.
That's action, and bonus action. Let's go for a cantrip. Let's go for a firebolt.
Nice.
Turn into lightning damage.
Nice.
22.
Definite hit.
Okay. And that's another 20. That's 20. Another 26 lightning damage.
Another 26. Wow.
Mhm.
Okay.
So just with one hand, just lightning strike from the ceiling, and then just a direct, tiny lightning bolt from the.
Yeah, as you do that, he's going to try and offset some of that damage. Okay. Okay. And he looks. Hey, y'all. He looks bad. He's about 8'6". And he's been stabbed and slashed. His guts and like innards are sort of dangling. There's chunks that Narasine has extracted from his body. He's bleeding profusely. He is going to take that damage at the beginning of his turn. 2d4.
2d4, and then another DC 15 con saving throw.
Okay, let's see how he do on the con saving throw. Bad.
He's also he's smoking and electrified as well.
Yeah,
You
he's
said
also.
passed or he's bad.
Oh, he did bad. He did bad.
Oh, it'll be 3d4 if he lives.
Okay. All right. What was the damage?
Sorry. 2d4.
So excited about the damage that he hasn't earned yet.
3.
3 more points. Okay.
Does that wound kind of?
Y'all want to be very clear. He does not look great. And then you see him sort of like twist and retch, and you see like some of these burn marks start to like heal like significantly. You see these burns like bubble and blister and then like go crispy and then start to flake off as fresh skin starts to cover his body. The hair is sort of burned away, but you can already see peach fuzz starting to fill in some of these spots. There's still a grievous wound to his abdomen, and he definitely looks like beat up. But
Okay, we can fix that real easy.
but he does look. He looks significantly better, but still very fucked up. And he is going to cast aside Irina and turn and look at Narasine.
Double
And
fingers.
22 versus armor class.
See.
Yeah, okay. He's gonna whip around and just grab your whole face and keep spinning and slam you back of your head first into this building, which is, wood slats and plaster. And that's gonna be 21 points of bludgeoning damage.
Gotcha. And another con.
Another con save. That's a 23.
Oh no. I mean, do I make another con?
Oh, do you make a con? Do you have anything?
I remember the last time he hit me.
No, he bit you last time. This time he just hit you.
Okay.
How's a 30 treat you?
Yeah, that'll do it. I will hellish rebuke.
Okay, good. Let's see how that works.
Dexterity. He'll probably be fine.
8, 9.
Another first level slot.
Another 15 points of bludgeoning damage as he just sort of like slams you into the side of this building and then just sort of drags you and slams you into the ground, the back of your head first, like into Irina on the ground. You're like upside down across her diagonally, as she just sort of like braces against you, and both of you just get like wham onto the ground. And then
DC 18 Dex save.
Yep, that's gonna be a 19.
Ah, you bitch. Okay, so half damage still.
Okay.
God. 10, so half to 5.
Okay.
Could have been worse.
Yeah, I think we see that hellish rebuke just sort of streak across as he's dragging you along the side of this building. Plaster just cracking as he's just dragging you, and then tosses you down.
I think it's actually like you see like blood from the wound, like almost seem to float and get sucked like magically across the air into the blade again.
Nice. And it's your turn. What would you like to do, Narcy?
I'm hurt, but I'm not incredibly hurt. I have back pocket for when I do start really bleeding, which I have a feeling will be after the next one. But right now I think I'm gonna just kind of, I guess, place one hand on his wrist so that he can't pull away, and I'm just gonna once again
love it.
Just start fighting.
Yeah, he's right there. If you've got a hold of him.
And I think, every single one that hits, I'll also second level smite on.
Oh, he's just going to get bam, bam, bam.
First one will be a 26 to hit. And then a 19 to hit. And lastly, with the bonus action Booming Blade, will be a 21 to hit.
Yeah.
All right. Let me just give you... So I'll give you all 3 stabs first. Again, he's wounded.
Yep.
So it'll be...
He's getting a third wound now.
Or third, yeah. So 3d4. And then just the basic piercing will be Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. 27 piercing.
Okay.
And then Booming Blade is 2d8. And then I said all
That's if he
second level.
is that
So I'm
if he
using my
moves, or is it
tax.
2d8 and is additional if he
It's
moves?
2d8 initially, and
Okay.
then if he moves, it's 3d8.
Got it. Very good. Very good.
And then I said I was doing all second levels on this, so it'll be another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 d8.
A lot of d8s.
Yeah. For another 60 damage.
Nice.
Uh,
Great.
And that's including Booming Blade and Radiant Smite. Wounded. Do I have any other bullshit? Oh, I have Piercer, so I can re-roll one of those Piercer die and see if I get higher. Because I have Piercer re-roll damage once per turn. When you hit a creature with an attack that deals piercing damage, you can re-roll one of the damage attack rice, and you must use. So I'm going to use the 2. And let's see. Wait. This is a D8 for rapier. Rolled an 8, so another 6.
Excellent.
Wait, and I know I didn't crit, so that doesn't count. Yeah, that'll be everything. So a total of however the fuck much that was.
It's a lot. And it's very interesting because as you're just sort of like stab, 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 we just see like this like wolf, like werewolf thick forearm, just like poof, from the inside. We just see like the bones crack a little bit, but the flesh just sort of like explodes away from it. Like you put a firecracker in the middle of a chicken wing. And then we see you sort of like stab again into the
Beautiful.
chest, and there's another one of these sort of like radiant explosions, and you see the look on this thing's face, like literally. Well, you don't. The Noller does.
I see like an outline, like a video game thermal or something.
Yeah, like the old Nintendo, like whatever the hell that was.
Yeah, when it's just like the outline of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And as you that hang on. Very good, very good. Okay.
Damn it, she's back.
Oh God. Um. But you see this, all of you, this like realization. I'm not going to survive another one of those. And then you see, Narasine just like, bam, right in the middle of this thing's chest, and it like blasts backwards, and you see another sort of like pop from the booming blade, of just sort of like
Yeah, another
flopping. Did you go to
3d8.
Sinclair? Of just like flopping flesh in its abdomen. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I guess for that movement, it would also take another 18.
Yeah, its chest is just like eviscerated. And as it like slumps backwards, Svetlana, you get another like strange sensation as you look at this entity. Narasine just sort of like blasted it into a wall, and you see it just standing there, and its like guts are quite literally like spilling out of its abdomen and chest.
I'm like
And-
Banksy, but better.
And it looks past Strahd at you, and you see it sort of like try to collect its guts. And as it does, you see one of these like dark dog-like eyes flash sort of this greeny brown hazel, and you are taken back to a picture in a silvered frame on the mantle of your house that's no longer there, of you and your parents and the one you don't talk about anymore.
Okay.
Your brother.
And do their eyes match?
Yeah.
Okay.
Look, guys,
So,
I killed
wait,
the
and
fuck
he
out of this one.
Okay.
And then you see that them fall forward as the lycanthropy begins to sort of like wash away from their body.
I think at that point, and I'm like 30 feet away, right?
Yeah, you're on the other side of Strahd,
But
and
I'm
he's
still-
he's
but I'm
just
still
smirking.
raging.
Yeah.
Okay, so and there's no other enemies around,
Strahd's right there.
but he's dead.
Well, I mean, it's his body's right there.
Right. Okay. So I think. Okay, I'm a little conflicted. I think I would look at like the body of the werewolf that is transforming back into my brother.
Yeah.
And get like a really, really fucking sad look on my face for a second, but then kind of like refocus for a minute. And before I use my bonus action for my action, I want to loot Strahd's body. Like, I want to search every fucking pocket and crevice of his body to see if
She
there's
does an anal
anything
cavity search.
of value or that would like benefit me on him.
It doesn't take.
Svetlana, why are you fingering the dead
Shut the
corpse's
fuck
asshole?
up!
You can't.
I'm
I get that you're out of it. You
100%
can't
sure,
be doing that
honestly.
in
I'm just
public.
visiting.
Oh, Svetlana, no! Oh no! Not with the body.
Yes.
What are you talking about? You cannot see.
I'm gonna make this
I can
very
feel
easy.
it.
I'm gonna make this very easy for everyone. Strahd has a sort of blouse shirt, a red velvet vest with brass buttons. He's wearing sort of breeches. He doesn't have a purse or pockets or anything like that. And he has on some like like silken hosiery and
Is there
some
anything my
sort of
size?
low platform like designer like loafer.
How big were his feet? I think I still need shoes.
They're actually, I mean, they're bigger than yours without question, but I mean, he's 5'8.5", almost 5'9".
Probably tells me
5'10"
6
with
foot, but
5'10" with the shoes on.
Okay, so
Six-
wait,
six
so
foot,
is there
bro.
nothing? So he doesn't really have any pockets, is what you're saying?
Yeah, there's just a whistle on the ground beside him.
I'm gonna take the whistle.
Okay, are you gonna
You
blow
seem
it?
embarrassing reaching for it.
And then as I take I'm gonna like grab the whistle, and then because I am still technically raging at least until the end of this turn, I am going to teleport back to like my brother's body, and then just like end my turn there. I mean, I guess if we're out of initiative, I would teleport back to it and like study his face really closely, probably do the like sad thing with the dramatic music of like me pushing a strand of hair behind his ear and looking at him like really sad but also kind of confused because it's been fucking forever since I've like seen him.
He looks much older. He like you can see that his hairline is like receded quite a bit. You can also see that his skin has a very similar sort of aesthetic to yours.
My younger or older brother?
He's older than you by about 8 years. So he was grown when you were still a kid. I mean, I think that Svetlana knows, although your parents are loath, obviously, to talk about it, that he was someone that Strahd took a fancy to.
So I would just kind of be looking at him. Is he naked?
Yeah, he is. He looks. I mean, like he's in his late 30s now. He's not in bad shape. He's just, like his chest has been exploded a couple of times.
Right.
He has been neutered.
Wow. Yeah, so I would just kind of be studying his body a minute and would probably stand up and like not be showing any emotion, but like probably like have a bloody tear streak on my face and look at Irina and just be like, well, that was a waste of time, that was a waste of time, but it's not really like it affects anything. It just solves and starts over again, and we're still stuck in the same parts of the cycle that we're going to be in. So, where to next?
Who is he?
Insight.
Let's see if someone answers the question real quick, and then we'll go from there.
Some dead fuck.
Because like I was talking directly to Irina. Like, does she not answer me because Muller interjects?
I'm gonna allow him to do that. But
I'd like look. Okay, because then as I'm saying that, I look over at him and roll my eyes, and I'm like, obviously some stupid fucking goon. And then like walk up to Irina and I'm just like, okay, so like where do we need to go next to find where we have to go to destroy this thing? Also, would Belana know if I guess like how much about the like core of Straw's power would Svetlana know?
Not like a insignificant. If you knew anything at all about like how his power is derived, he doesn't sit and gab and like braid your hair and tell you about how he came to power.
Right. So I think that at that point, like I would look at her like, okay, let's fucking go, and then I would kind of like walk over to Miracine and kind of like lean close to her ear, like grab her arm, like here, come on, sweetie, and like lean in close and and just kind of softly say in her ear, so do you know if there's any way to get in contact with your brother?
Before I go into this, can I get an insight on the previous?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's just get an insight. Let's get an insight check. I like this.
So just regarding lies, as you did to us, I can't roll lower than an 8 per my class feature, which I want to let you know right now is a 14 plus 8. So I can't roll lower than a 22 right now.
I mean, this is as clear as day to you that this person is very obviously someone that, if not now, someone that Svetlana did care very much about.
Dearie, did I just kill a family member or something? This is clearly someone that you cared about incredibly deeply.
Irina, you know something?
I'm saying this quietly. I'm saying this quietly.
Okay.
To someone, yes.
Sorry.
I'm just gonna whisper back like I haven't seen that person for years. I don't even know them.
You're lying to me. What? The 22 insight. Why are you lying to me?
That's not a lie.
No, I'm actually gonna side with Ativa on this one. That's not a lie. He's important to her, but that doesn't mean that they know one another very well.
Okay.
So yeah, it's just a little different.
I wasn't lying. I was not lying.
I'm like.
So yeah, no. And then I'm also hoping that in all of this, even with this discussion, like Irina has gotten the point and is gonna take us somewhere where we need to go.
And I guess I'll respond and be like, regarding my brother, the book that showed me his constant whereabouts and updates, I think I I'm pretty sure like I had named that as one of the top things I'd wanted to save from the ship. I don't remember if I did. If I'd been able to.
I think that's a thing that would make sense for you to still have. Yes.
Okay. I guess in that case, I would just kind of like reach out and pat my bag and say, I have ways of finding his whereabouts and maybe potentially contacting him, as I do with most other high class beings within the surrounding dimensions.
Great. I need to have words with him, if that is at all possible.
But before I tell you where my family is, can I ask why?
We need to know more about this core power from where Strahd is drawn from. And your brother seems to have pretty extensive knowledge on domains of dread and like people that rule them. So I feel like he could, have some good insight as to our situation here.
Yes, I'll see.
Also, Hadley, for narrative purposes, she is not lying, but she's not telling.
Right. Not telling the whole truth.
But yeah, but still pretty straight. But it's saying it pretty straightforward. I don't know if I would have to roll.
I have a 24 passive.
But
24
Well,
passive.
yeah, I don't. Yeah, I
so-
think that there's some withholding
I know
going
that,
on
like,
here, but
I'm not gonna.
this
bring
is
it up.
also
I
this is
don't-
also
yeah.
Svetlana, so
Yeah. I think
she's
I expect
always
that
got to have
level-
something to play close to the chest.
Yeah, and
With tits
before
like
when
that.
she was outright lying about this person, that was like on a level where it's like, okay, this is above regular.
Too blatant.
Svetlana.
This is just
Yeah,
blatant.
this is. So let's get away from that. And then there's within actuated measures, and I'm like, okay, yes, this
Yeah.
is within. Our
You've got
criteria for
enough.
lying.
You've got enough to know what's up.
And I'll just say, yes. What I can do is I can try reaching out to my person and seeing if there is a way for them to facilitate a link. If not that, then what I can do is I can simply try to, find a way to speak to him. Yeah.
You could just ask. You see Irina. She's sort of like standing up. She's nursing a small cut through her leather jacket.
Wait, is anybody hurt? I guess just really quick. Anybody want healing?
I'm kind of hurt a little bit.
Okay, how much healing do you need?
I don't know because I'm not looking at my character sheet.
Actually, I don't know if you took damage from that fight.
What?
No, she didn't.
Yeah, you didn't.
No, I don't think in that fight I did, but I had taken damage earlier.
144,
Like,
no, because you guys all just woke up.
We just got the long rest and immediately went into this.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. Okay. Never mind.
Okay, so
I want to be very clear. It is sort of like first thing in the morning, so
Yeah.
Nothing.
Nova? Okay, Irina. See you
Irina's
later.
probably the one that is more.
She
I'll talk for
looks she looks at you, Narasine, and sort of like waves you off, and you see her like unbutton her vest and sort of reach in, and you can see her fingers sort of come in behind the hole in her vest and shirt, and you see this sort of like soft orangey yellow light sort of just come from that opening, and you see there's still like a little trickle of blood, but she sort of like behind the shirt just sort of like squeegees it, and you just see a smear, and it's just a superficial cut now.
All right. I'll just really quick use 10 hands and 2d6 of healing light as an action and a bonus action.
She looks, Irina looks at you and says, if Madame Eva's there, then we should talk to her. If she's not, and she's not always there first thing in the cycle, then we should go and see the mage, especially if you're trying to reach places outside of Barovia, he's the one that can help you.
Well, I would prefer we do that because my way usually involves me engaging in acts, and this sounds easier.
She sort of like looks down at your eyeless face, and sort of like just sort of regards the implications of that, and she looks back at Svetlana and Noller, and then she sort of looks down at the just absolutely decimated body of Svetlana's brother on the ground.
Nobody answered me. Who was he?
Wait, are you asking me?
In general, I'm asking all three.
I already gave my answer to who he is, so.
I don't
I think you see Noller as Sveti turns and starts like walking down the street, and Narasine starts to like whisper back and forth with them. She like sidles up beside you, and says, "That's her brother, and that's not the last we'll see of him." And she sort of like looks back down at him, and he's just fucking destroyed. But she
So
starts walking.
I also go during it. So you, Svetlana, not the only ones then.
She says, nearly everyone comes back one way or another. Sometimes they're different. Sometimes they're almost indistinguishable. Sometimes it's a mannerism that changes. But, I mean, eventually they come back enough and there's just nothing left of them. And she sort of says nothing left of them. And you see this, like, older couple, and they're sort of shuffling down the street, like, first thing in the morning. And it looks like their feet are leading the way and not the other way around. As they don't see you, they don't interact with you, they just seem to move as if by marionette down the road.
I understand. But either way, some are more special than others. Is her brother one of them? Like a special torture plaything?
Yeah, she sort of like puts her hand on your back to sort of like move you down the street with her, keeping a little bit of distance between.
I mean, I'm following.
Okay.
I keep it pace.
Yeah, she's still just sort of like she's a little in your personal space, talking to you right now, and she's like, I think there's a few of them that Strahd has done special experiments on, and she sort of like looks at you like sternly, and then sort of like looks over at Svetlana.
Figured. Okay.
Can I hear any of that?
Yeah, you could probably literally hear all of it. Like it's not like it's hushed, but there's no way you don't.
I think I'm going to like harumph growl in a way that she can tell that my eyes are rolling so fucking hard that they are practically in the back of my fucking head.
Yeah, as we see you shoot laser beams out the back of your head at her, she just sort of like, there's just no telling how deep they get into you. And she says, I don't know how deep he is into me. And she sort of pulls her collar back again, and you can see those like fresh marks from Svetlana that were like really deep. But she sort of points towards that collection of bite marks that run down her neck and onto her shoulder.
I think at that point I would like chuckle and be like, oh deeper into you than he is into me. Don't you know? You look exactly like
She says that doesn't mean that I am her. And she sort of like snaps. And
So much for empathy,
it.
Svetlana.
It wouldn't matter if you are like her or not. Okay? It doesn't matter if you are her or not. Even if you were her, you would still hate his dead, rotten guts. Because guess what? He's just a really unlovable fucking being. But let me tell you, he is deeper in your soul than you will ever fucking know. Because you are just one of his pawns.
Svetlana, what does this accomplish?
Yeah, she does look a little bit shouted down. And like you can see her seething, and her like fists are clenched. She's holding onto her bow in one hand, and you can almost see the white knuckles through her blood gloves. And you can hear the leather squeaking on her fists as she sort of hangs her head.
Right. It's okay. You should be mad. I want you to be mad. Everyone should be beyond mad at him because that's the only way we're going to get this job done.
I don't
Now
think
let's go and talk
I don't
to
think
this
so
man.
because honestly, it hasn't worked out for you so far.
And where has your you know what? No, you know what? No. And then I'm just gonna walk away.
When you say that, you see Irina sort of stand up. She sets her shoulders back and looks at you with just utter disgust. And
Me?
yeah.
We can throw hands to solve issues here. It's okay to do that. I say excitedly.
No. I mean, it's that you're. It's not that I'm not. It's not that you're gonna be mad at him. It's just that the way you're mad at him hasn't worked out for you. Could you just be a little bit more calculative at least?
That's what I'm trying to do. Let's go talk to the stage. Let's find out how we can get to the center of this power. And let's also find out how we can get a hold of Clover. And honestly, Noller, from what it sounds like, you have plenty of fucking favors you could call in too, okay? So like, let's maybe get down to this to figure out how we can get there and then deal with it whatever way it needs to be dealt with.
If they can even be reached.
You do see Irina. She says, well, like I said, getting in touch with entities outside of this plane is what sets the mage apart.
Well, guess we know who we ought to talk to then.
It's also Nola's specialty. You've spoken to how many extraplanar beings? Also, by the way, Nola, when you ran with Set, quick question. What was your kill count? How many people did you kill in that time?
I don't particularly remember. I actually don't think I killed anyone in particular.
Don't remember?
No, I don't think I killed anyone in particular. I remember 2 people I knocked out. The other one was fighting a god. And other than that,
I would just like to say, every time he shows up, you know, I do understand it's kind of a pain in the ass, but if we just kill him, he just has to like go and reappear in his castle anyway, and it saves us a little bit of time than fighting wave after wave of the stupid goons that he's going to try and kill our time with, okay? So maybe next time get less distracted with the monsters and more distracted with the actual problem, because the way that you like kill a snake
killed
is like
Strahd in like the
okay?
first 5 minutes before anybody got to do it. You put a gun to his chest. You
First
said
5 seconds,
"I'm gonna kill
actually.
you," and then he killed himself using the gun that you bluffed him with. What do you mean? There was only monsters left to deal with after you killed the man that will then reset us tomorrow morning when we wake up.
Yes, but think about how many more monsters come out and people remain there being entertained.
Again, we didn't have any other focus than the monsters because you killed the only person we could truly question.
Why would you think
Molto
he's the
bene.
only person we could truly question? Maybe next time we shouldn't go willy-nilly killing the poor innocent fucking werewolves, and we could question them.
The one that
Did you think
immediately
about
attacked
that
us?
fantasy?
The one that
Did you
immediately
think about
attacked
that?
us. The one that right off the bat went for throat and then immediately glommed onto me.
Yeah, as you say glommed onto me, you hear, "Would you please shut the fuck up?" And Irina just sort of like turns around as you hit the edge of the village, and just like fucking loses it. And from where you're standing, you're sort of looking southward out of the village, and over her left shoulder is Castle Ravenloft, 1,000 feet up from your position, looming almost directly down over you. And you can hear her shouts echo off that cliff face as she stamps her feet. And looks like she's going to draw her bow and shoot every one of you.
I pointed at her and
Can I
said,
just say,
wait.
wait, can I just say that, like, from now on, any time in the game when, like, Castle Ravenloft comes into view of Svetlana,
it's almost always visible.
There's just, like, a very, very short cutscene that, like, flashes to her eyes where just, like flames ignite in her fucking irises.
Yeah.
Like, every time, like, it's like the castle, but,
like the trees on the cliff face and on the rising prominence are all just sort of like crackling with fire.
Yeah. And that happens like every time that the castle gets introduced into the view.
It's just sort of we see because Castle Ravenloft is so like prominent in the middle of this space that it's literally visible from almost everywhere, unless you are literally right up against a building. If you look up, you're gonna see Castle Ravenloft right there.
If this was a modern setting version, I would have already set the castle as your like phone background.
Yeah. I just sort of think from Svetlana's point of view, that's just sort of like one of those little candles that looks like crackling fire but isn't quite. Is just sort of like overlaid with those trees, like the Western United States.
Yeah.
Less
It's kind
less
of
smoke.
like how she gags every time she hears Strahd's name.
Yeah.
It's just something that happens every single time.
Yeah.
Oh
If Irina is gonna shout and if everyone continues talking, I'm just gonna continue on my path towards the mage if that's who we're going to, and if not, to whatever direction we're going, I'm just gonna keep walking because, well.
As you walk past her, she sort of
walking,
like turns and like looks as you go past, and then she looks back at Narasine and Svetlana, and then she turns and starts following Noller. And it doesn't take very long for you to start to see, with Castle Ravenloft over your shoulder, that the bridge ahead crosses the river that you. Yeah, that's about right. To the Vistani camp, which Noller and Narasine and Esmeralda had visited in sort of the last cycle of the game. And you can see that it is not ransacked. You can see that there's a couple of guys from the bridge. You can look up the river and see them with their lines in the water. And you see one of them like set a hook real quick and then sort of just like walk it back and drag that line onto the shore. And then just come over with like a hatchet and just chunk and then just immediately throw the like little bit of guts and then throws the rest of the whole fish into like a big fry on a big fire.
I thought you were gonna say back in the ocean. I was like, hey yo.
No, he's still, apparently they're making like a fish fry breakfast. Y'all can smell it. It smells delicious. They got this like real good cornmeal.
I stop arguing. I put a hand up and stop arguing with Sveta, and I start slowly drifting.
Yeah, we just sort of see you go over the bridge, sort of like following the visible stink lines
It's one
of this
confusing
like
things where it's like the smell is like carrying me.
yeah, of these like hush puppy pancake and fish fritter plates, sweet and savory.
I think that I want to like walk up to Arena and Miracine is floating away and just be like, I don't want to waste any time. I don't think that my heart could take any more trips down memory lane. Plus, it keeps making me kind of lose track of time and reality itself. So if we could just keep moving to go and talk to this mate, that would be so great.
Well, Narasine.
I don't hear any of that because I'm already over there
Okay.
at that distraction.
Yeah, as you waft over and Svetlana, you're like, wait, no, oh no. Narasine, you sort of like your feet come underneath you.
Some of us have to eat regular food. I'm sorry.
And you see like as your eyes don't open, but you start to like reach out with both hands, you almost immediately feel this enamelized warm bowl in your hand. The edge of it's still cool, but the base of it is like popping hot. And you feel like it feels good because that's sort of like where you're at. If you didn't know like how much heat it takes to literally burn your fingertips off, you'd think that this is probably close to it, but you know that it takes a lot more heat than this to actually burn them off because it's happened to you so many times. So many times. Yeah.
Oh, spicy.
It smells amazing. It's got sort of like a cornmeal waffle aroma with this like real tarry sort of sweet, like almost molasses sweet syrup on it. And the fritter just smells fucking amazing. And Irina looks at Svetlana and then looks at Noller and says, "We should have breakfast."
Yep, wouldn't be a bad idea.
I gave him 10.
I literally just roll my eyes again because I do not need to eat breakfast.
I will let you drink my fucking blood after I eat this so you can taste how good it is. Jesus, get over here.
Your blood is actually quite disgusting.
My blood doesn't do that anymore. I'm not related to the undead. Continues eating.
Really?
Yeah, character development.
I'm actually a celestial warlock patron.
Oh shit! Actually, your blood probably tastes really good.
I got
I think at the point that where Nirasine said that,
Just the hand
Svetlana,
just sort of like
like Svetlana furrows her brow for a second and breathes in a good fucking waft of air through her nostrils. Like you can see her nostrils flare as she just like.
Yeah, it's
And then she.
you know that like smell when you've been baking cookies and it's like minute like 11 and then you just get like hit in the nose with the cinnamon and the chocolate and the sugar, all of it at once, just sort of like just blasts into the house. It's kind of like that.
It's also not even
So
drank from the last time technically, so
what?
What?
Wait, what did you say, Xander?
Muted.
Oh no. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't matter now, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I guess I just take that in and I'm just like fine. But yes, I would like to have a taste maybe not right now, though. I don't really need it right now. I'm just not hungry. I have shit to do.
I already had a knife. Okay.
Irina is similarly treated to a bowl here, and Noller, almost like clockwork, you see another one thrust towards you. The metal sort of clanks against your hand, and rings a little bit. And Svetlana, are you even like walking up into this scene? There's
Yeah,
three of them sort of
but
on the
I'm just
edge of
kinda-
the camp.
Yeah, but I'm just kind of like acting like an Australian shepherd, you know, just kind of like walking back and forth along the
Perimeter.
back of everyone.
Perimeter duty, yeah.
And and just kind of like hurting them in a way while they eat.
As you sort of come around one way, you see you see a Vistani boy, and this one isn't actually one of Tatiana's memories. This is one of Svetlana's. As you look at him, you remember being his age, and he's about 17, maybe 18, and you remember him trying to court you in sort of an over-the-top manner for a small period of time, and you remember him. You're pretty sure you remember him dying. But he's not dead, but he does look like he did when you were a kid still.
Right.
And as he sort of walks up and like smirks at you and really like, again, like over the top is just like, what have we here? Hands you this bowl, and when he smiles, you can see his breath sort of like curl in the air, and you flash back to your hybrid form, and your like paws are in blood, and you look down and you see him just dead, like still bleeding out of his neck at your feet last night.
I'm just gonna glare at him and not like smack the bowl out of his hands, but kind of like reach to take it and then just kind of pull my hand away so that it falls to the ground and smear.
Yeah, he goes to like try and catch it, and ends up with like syrup on his hands. He like catches part of the waffle and part catches like tumbles to the ground, and it's just a few things, and you see him like embarrassed, like scoop up the crumbs and crumbles and sort of like back away, like he doesn't know what to do next. Yes, Ander.
As soon as I go to do something, okay.
Mhm.
Fuck.
I mean, whenever the opportunity
got
arises.
distracted. Oh, yes. Do we get a short rest?
No.
Damn it.
You just walked from town. It's right over there. You can like lean back and sort of see the edge of town. It's right over there. You did not get a short rest. No. You took a short walk.
Okay. In the meantime, I would just like to use a harness divine power and expend my channel divinity to as a bonus action. Basically, reach back and take hold of one of those razor blades and just lightly grip it enough to feel it kind of pierce my flesh.
Sure.
Allow a little bit of blood to run, and basically I'll regain an expended second level spell slot.
Dope.
I was just wondering a short rest because first off, I would get 2 slow spots.
Yeah, you just
And
listen.
also I get my
It's just
divinity back.
breakfast. All right, it's just breakfast.
I know how long
When
does it take? Like an hour? Does it take like an hour?
Not yet. It doesn't. Not yet. It does. You just
No,
got a
because-
bowl.
no,
It's just a
because I'm,
little
like,
fucking
making you
fritter.
guys-
You better
Yeah,
fucking
I'm making you
Oh.
guys like walk and eat. I'm like making you guys walk and eat right now. There's nothing restful about it. But hold on, when I look at the kid's face, like
Yeah.
when I look at his eyes, do they look foggy or do they look alive?
They look alive, but they don't look as vibrant as they did when you in your memory. Like he used to have like piercing blue eyes, and they're more of like a flat indigo now.
Hmm. Yeah. So yeah, I just I like furrow my brow like with a concerned look, and just kind of like. I don't know. The way I want it like to seem is like, you know, when a fucking mama dog is fed up with her puppies, like biting at her fucking jowls,
Yeah.
and she like is like, listen, I get it, you're a puppy, but get the
But this
fuck
has to
away
fucking
from me.
yeah.
That is like how I'm looking at this child.
Yeah, he just sort of like looks to the party real quick and then sort of staggers backwards, and you just see him like literally toss the things in the bowl like to a couple of dogs who playfully fight over it for a second before each of them just just goes to fucking full school with mouthfuls of grass and fish and hush puppies.
Right.
But he starts to like back away as you're starting to like nudge people forward, like, okay, we're walking.
Yeah.
You hear the flip of a deck of cards. And the flap of a doeskin door on a tent, and you turn around and you see the very much not dead Madame Eva standing holding a very large deck of cards, which she just sort of pronounced their presence.
Glad to meet you again.
I just start doing the gritty to her.
I think at this point I would like look over at Arena and smile and be like, for old time's sake.
And Irina looks to you and sort of looks a little hesitant at first, and then you start to see her smile, and she looks from you over to Madame Eva, and as she looks at Madame Eva with a smile, Madame Eva looks back with a smile of her own, and she walks back into her tent. But the flap is still very much open, and you see her reach her hand out as you look in this sort of like angled slit, and she raises her hand in the second room. The first room in here is sort of like a casbah of pillows and low tables, a receiving room. The next room is where she does her divinations. And as you look into that, she raises her hand and candles just woof, in a conflagration in each of the corners, lending a soft yellowy light to the scene and silhouetting her as she begins to sort of swirl her hand. And you see this like cosmic tracer, like stardust, and the night sky begin to form. And as she sort of steps to the side, you see it cascading down over a very large crystal ball. It's like a foot and a half in diameter, set in a heavy wooden frame. And it has a big, wide rail around the like equator of it, around the circumference, and she gestures and you see 4 chairs come out, and then you see her reach over and physically grab her own chair and sit down. And she's got a little like workstation at the end of this crystal ball. And when you guys sit down, you're all like on this sort of level. You can sort of see opposed the distended visions of your friends across the table.
You said to us that you will be straightforward. Does that apply now?
Um, she smirks, and she says, "I'll do my best." And you see her begin to twist these cards. You see her sort of break the deck into 3 sections, which sort of fold over one another and change in thickness. And then she sort of like shuffles the cards together in the air and begins to cut. And these cards they look like they could fall apart in like they could both fall apart at any second and could probably last another 1,000 years.
Hmm.
There's a strange sort of like durability to them, but at the same time they are so weather worn, you're amazed they hold together. Yes.
I rip my top out, tits out, and I turn around and show her the scars, and I say, "We didn't reset." And I show her there's still the Eva in the back.
She looks down and she continues this process. But when you say we didn't reset, she there's just a faint pause, and then she continues to shuffle. And Irina's sort of like the last one to sit down here. And so we see sort of from her perspective, looking down at the table, the 3 of you and Madame Eva on the far side as she's about to do her Taroka. Yeah, we know, Xander.
Is there any way that I can like do an insight check as to how woke she is?
Yeah, I think that's fair. Insight's probably the way to do it.
I get a help action.
Um,
Really good.
I'm fine with the help action if I need it.
I might just take the tits out though, enjoying my little distraction though.
Yeah, I don't know that you would be able to discern, Narasine, what Svetlana's doing in this moment.
Valid. Still just like,
Dang, the sun is so orange, you guys. Fuck.
There was just the faintest bit of rain and wind, and now we don't have smoke in the sky where I'm at.
something door hinge.
A 9 for insight. As you look at her, you can't tell if she's spry as the day she was born or 1,000 carbon copies of herself.
God damn it.
She still has she's still got the shuffling the deck thing down pretty well. I mean, you know she's died at least once. You had her head in your possession.
Yeah. I would like to oh wait, I would like to use my telepathic fucking powers.
Okay.
And only telepathically communicate with Irina, like literally no one else.
Okay. What do you say to her as she sits down at the table and you like look at her and make this connection?
And then I look at her and I'm like, I'm just like, look, I don't know what to think is bullshit and what isn't anymore, but if she is even slightly aware of the cycle. Like, she is powerful enough that we can use her help. Can you even break people out of this cycle? Is that the thing that you can do? I mean, like,
yeah, she sort of
you kind of have broken it.
you sort of see her like eyes shift across the edge of this crystal
And then I'm
as
like,
she
oh yeah, sorry, you can just talk to me in your head. She won't be able to hear you.
and then we sort of see her look over the top of the crystal, and we just sort of see the headdress that Madame Eve is wearing. This beautiful paisley silk, green and gold and black, with a bit of tan accent to it. And as she looks at Madame Eva, we just see Madame Eva's like eyes pop up, like knowing that she was being looked at, uh, and uh, and you hear inside your head almost like a gulp as her eyes go wide, and she goes, "I don't think anyone's broken out, but me and you." And that's what you hear inside your head. As
I don't think Svetlana would trust that, because Svetlana right now still kind of thinks that Irina's part of the game.
And then you hear the flap of a card being turned over. And you hear a heavy finger sort of like thud into her table. And as you look at her, you can see that her eyes are just like milky, like she is somewhere else. And as she points at the card, you see
Prepare a reaction to cover Eva.
Yeah, right. You see the three swords intersecting, and it sort of looks like a Y from your perspective. And she sort of says with this like deep voice, "The torturer." And you hear this just like thwap, second card hit the table, and you see this figure that's sort of like leaned out, and you see strings coming from their fingers, and at the base of each of them is an individual skeleton, all of which look like they're being controlled by individual marionettes. And you hear her say, "The necromancer." And then you see, you hear another thwap. Yes.
I was wondering, do I clock Milky Eyes at all?
Oh yeah, y'all see this. Well, no, you don't see this.
But
but her voice, you clock the voice is very different.
So, and this is for who's experiencing this? Irina or Madame
Everyone's. Madame Eva has sort of gone.
Oh,
like,
okay. I thought it was Irina who'd suddenly gone a little bit catatonic.
No, she's just sort of like wide-eyed watching.
Oh,
this.
okay. Then never mind. I thought she had like been experiencing something that almost looked like someone was looking through her, and I was gonna be like, "You don't get to see this." But
nice.
No, never mind.
Bear me just one more second. Oh God, give it to me. Give it to me. Give it to me.
It's just the executioner 3 times.
Right.
I'm sure that one doesn't mean any. Oh, I'm. There's no way. There aren't even 3 of these in the deck. I don't know where they're coming.
Yeah, right. There's only one of these actually.
I just executioner and death. What did you do?
That was about to be how I played this. was just like there was just gonna be 4 cards, and each one of them was gonna be the Fool or something like that. Let me see here. Boop 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 boop. You see again. Narasine. Well, Narasine. Actually, Narasine, you sort of see these cards
Echolocation.
faintly. The like surface of these is sort of like metallic, and lends to sort of a heft to the cards, and so when it falls, you sort of see this like faint ring of the image at a steep angle, and you can sort of see the magical like energy within it, in that 3D space.
I like to think that her blind sight almost works like a very like an overpowered echolocation almost, where it's not like a magical energy like surrounding that tent. It's literally just that like in that moment, like she's had her both eyes taken from her. She spent however long in that space.
How long? I mean, one.
I
It's
know.
been 1 week since you got. Sorry. Yeah. I mean, like lifetimes, many lifetimes of torture.
Yeah.
Over the course of a week.
And I think at this point it's very much like it's like an overpowered, like even past Daredevil, where it's like you get that echolocation of it, but even just like those waves bouncing off it, you can see almost where the ink lays on the card.
Bingo.
And there's just like that minute, like micro, like minute difference between where like the base is, and there's like that little bump, and then and I think that's what she sees in the echolocation within that 10 feet. It's like everything is visible within an outline, but that outline is constantly moving, constantly like just a little bit shaky. I think it's very much just like pure just blackness, and then just like a light. I want to say for Lady Abyss, what color? What was her mask color again? Her orange, right?
Yeah. The robe is this shimmering sort of sheeny orange, and it sort of like looks yellow in the light, and then the copper mask.
Perfect. So I think where once she was used to like seeing things in X-ray and things like that with kind of a blue hue, with kind of a blue outline, that like Vecna blue, I think now this is almost, it's sound based, but it's also almost looks infrared in that it's just like an orange, like very thin, almost looks like a video game version of
Right.
electricity, like kind of line. And I think that's how she's
This next card will then resonate with you as well. You see you hear this card, and then you sort of see that resonance, and what you see is a like bars on a cage, behind which there's a silhouette of a man strapped to a table, just like shoulders, arms, wrists, straps across the thigh. Yeah. And no, I get it.
We've been there. I feel it.
Yeah. Yeah, while you're not going to have to make a Constitution saving throw for this one in particular, it is the donjon, and you recognize that. Isolation and imprisonment. It's not
definitely in like the top 7, but it's not the top 5.
Yeah. And then you see Madame Eva, and she goes to flip another card, and you hear her like wrist pop, like arthritis. And she's still holding the card, and she blinks, and her eyes stop being milky white. And she looks out at each of you, and sort of like shuffles. She just sort of like scoffs, and she turns over the executioner and lays it at the bottom of this circle of cards.
There it is. There it is.
She says,
Please,
"Can I
nothing.
be any more straightforward?"
I'm sorry.
Well, unless you can give us directions, and if you can give us directions, give them, and if not, well, thank you.
Irina
No,
stands
I'm
up.
gonna be like, Eva, what do these cards mean?
She says, "Honey, the cards don't mean anything."
And her eyes are not milky white anymore.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. Oh no, it was. Yeah.
I'm gonna like look. I'm gonna look at Irina, and then back at Madam Eva, and then back at Irina,
I'm just
and
giving.
be like,
uh,
and then like in Irina's head, be like, no one else.
And I mean, if you could hear a shrug inside of your mind, you do.
Include
And
anyone else in this psychic realm.
and Irina stands up with a start and sort of like bows and is like, "Thank you, Madam Eva. It was a pleasure seeing you again." And she turns and she sort of like looks at all of you, and she strides out of the tent.
I follow her.
I like follow Randy back, but like go really slowly and just kind of keep shifty eyeing back. to
Before I
Madam
leave, though,
Eva.
I say thank you, Madam Eva.
And I do also
promise
like
you,
bow,
we
like
said before.
bow as well.
Say that again, Tiva.
I think I'll leave. I do also bow as well, but
Okay.
like I'm gonna be the last to leave and kind of like keep. I'm gonna take my time leaving and like keep looking back at her. But also before I leave, I'm gonna leave a gold piece just like on the table.
She smiles and she picks up the executioner and she sort of flicks that card at you and then turns it face down on top of the other cards.
So there would be a little bit of issue because I wouldn't have moved until everyone else is gone. I would still just be sitting there on my knees, just kind of like not looking at anyone, but just like observing the environment.
She leans forward and sort of grabs the two pieces of your rended dress, and you hear almost what sounds like a sewing machine. And as you feel it sort of suture itself closed, you feel that card tucked into the collar of that dress, and she sort of pats you on the cheek, and you know that it's the executioner.
There would just be a faint smile. I would just reach out and place a hand on her and say, no matter how many different versions of you there are, there's still you. And then I'll just stand up and walk out.
Okay. As soon as you cross the threshold out of this tent, all the candles are snuffed immediately. And what resonates with you is there's no aroma of a candle that had just been put out as you feel that warmth just cease.
As I leave, can I just prestidigitate the smell of the tea that she'd made us the first night we'd been here?
Roll me a history check.
Okay, hold on. I've been doing the character sheet on my phone just so I wouldn't fuck up my camera, because having two tabs open is apparently too hard for this expensive fucking computer now. I have to figure that
Correct.
out. Do I have any way to? Oh, I still have my DM inspiration. I spent on this. have guidance anymore. I don't have anything else. I'm spending my inspiration on this because I got a 9 and I don't have anything to add.
What are you trying to accomplish?
This time I got a 15. What I was trying to do was just like, as I left, where I knew that, like, I know in the past when we've been here,
Mhm.
it's been like, this is
Yeah.
this is almost her domain within this cabin. This is her space.
So
Wow.
yeah, I think as you start to think back,
I think it's just I was trying to just release that same smell that she gave us on that night before she died, on
Yeah.
that different version of her, and I just want to kind of release that smell of that tea that she'd given us that night.
I love that. Yeah, I think you get a pretty good approximation of that. And I think what's really interesting is that the aroma is like really, really strong for you. Like as if like not like you just cast a spell, like you've got a bag of that tea, like you're really visceral sensation. Yeah.
We'll just do that, and then just leave.
Irina is sort of tromping through the camp, and you see the same guy that like sort of took a shine to Svetlana. You see him trying to make a move on Irina as she's just like marching past him at speed.
Well, I am Besana, and I ask. I assume you know what each of those meant or where they're supposed to go or direct to, right?
She says it's all a joke. It's all misdirection. She says, all I know.
Don't you listen?
As this guy comes like near her to try and like give her like another meal, essentially to try and be like, hey girl, you want to come hang out with us by the fire? She draws an arrow like really deftly and doesn't look. She doesn't even draw the bow fully. She just brings the bow up to her side and lets an arrow go. And you see it strike the hook on this pot that's suspended over the campfire that they've built. And you see it just unhook and drop straight into the fire. And you see one of these guys like rush forward to try and grab it and like sear his hands on the handle.
All right.
And another one like grabs a towel as the pot sort of like turns over and starts to sizzle in the fire. And she says, I have a feeling that the mage will know that we're coming. And as she sort of rounds the bend to the right, she's probably right. She's probably right because you can see what looks like a man far in the distance at the center of this just like Tesla coil of lightning that sprawls out in a bunch of different directions, but it looks like it's concentrated on like a border you can't see. At least not at first, until you realize that he's on the other side of this ravine, up a hill, and there seems to be something keeping him from getting through. He is about 2,500 feet away. He's like far away, but you can see him in the middle of this just crackling lightning hanging in the air about 150 feet up.
Why do I hear all that lightning over there?
You don't. You feel the static electricity, but you don't hear it, actually.
Things are tickly.
Yeah, correct.
Well,
Also, why the fuck did you knock over that pot? Trying to get seconds.
She says, "Are they paying attention to us anymore?" And sure enough, as you like sort of like regard what's going on, they're all dealing with the pot and not getting in you guys' way.
well, since are you ready to try and convince Aguisa to help us and commune with otherworldly beings?
Let's do it, but also simply because somebody is not of the same timeline or echelon that you are doesn't mean you should treat them differently, even if they repeat their same day, because you have a difference to make in that one day.
Nursing, I don't know if you have grants to speak on.
Will you please just shut up?
As y'all are sort of moving across this grassy plain, the prominence that leads to Castle Ravenloft is now sort of on your right, and Svetlana, you're just a couple 100 feet away from where you managed to sort of get out just a day ago. But you can still see that like long cobblestone path that winds up this hill and over a chasm of its own. This stone bridge that leads up to the base of the stairs at Castle Ravenloft. And it seems to be more silhouetted from behind with these fires from this perspective as you regard it. But you see Arena sort of like looking up the same way at it that you are, and say, "We'll get there soon enough." And she turns across this damp, grassy field.
Long time like the present. Let's might as well hurry up. I quicken my step.
Okay.
I want to be the last to leave camp. I want to help them put the
Handle got wet, and so now it's like they like scalds them. You step forward and just grab it, fucking barehanded, out of the fire, and like right it. And we just sort of see you hold it with one hand and set it back on the hook, like almost like you were scooping the soup like back into it. And you don't see the guy as he turns and sort of gives you the same sort of like doe-eyed charm that apparently works around here because there's just nobody else charming at all, unfortunately. Just he's the only one.
don't care.
Yeah.
Just about I'm helping you put like.
But yeah, you look up into his eyes, and he sort of like looks like lovingly down into your empty eye sockets, and then we just see like your party making their way across the grassy field.
I just give him a little pat on the head and say, "Try not to die," and I'll just move back. I'll just kind of start to.
Yeah. As y'all make your way across this field, you can start to see like little crackles of lightning bouncing between them, and you can feel sort of static in the air, and the air is like damp and just like heavy. And as you get closer, you like you should be
closer,
like,
no, we're just gonna take a fresh breath of air, and it's like.
It's energizing for you. This is actually like this is actually it'd be like taking like a warm bath.
But only cold, but pleasant.
Yeah.
Nola, I would love to talk to you about sometime about the actual science of how I absorb like other things into me, because I feel like you in the presence of electricity, I feel like we have some magical boon to at least work out between the two of us. I think you at least have the ability to absorb electricity, both physical and manifest magically, to both heal and control. You have such a strong continuance. And
I don't remember you ever absorbing anything. What are you talking about?
We're talking about you.
Yeah.
I
Sure.
think that you have the ability to control, manipulate, and absorb electricity in both physical and magical forms. And this just kind of reminded me, but have you ever experimented with simply absorbing the raw energy and redirecting it towards cellular regeneration or using it for later use?
I
You have
suppose
the gem of pure magic in your hand to control the flow.
tiny fragment, but I guess we can check. We can. Who knows? Maybe we'll find out today. Now, just don't say too much before you anger someone else, because as much as I love to talk to you, not everybody does. Sorry.
All right. And she just keeps walking.
Let's go.
Okay. As you guys keep going, you sort of get across this field, and as you look out, this guy is just like channeling so much fucking energy. Like, Noller, you've got good perspective on this.
Mm-hmm.
This guy compared to you is like Super Saiyan, and you compared to a normal person is Super Saiyan. This guy's conjuring his like several cumulonimbus clouds worth of lightning all at once. There is like cloud building behind him, but it almost seems to be more of an afterthought than the conjuration of this lightning that he's like drawing and then trying to like force into this weird like energy, this vivisection between where he is on the other side and where you are. And as you get closer, you can start to see down into this rift, which is about 30 feet wide, and whatever this is, this bubble seems to descend below the earth at this place.
Maybe, who knows? Maybe whatever we're looking for or what we need, it might be deep below.
Can
I
I?
definitely think that the man that was controlling that lightning is the man we're looking for.
Say that again.
I was just telling Noller, I definitely think that the man that is controlling the lightning is the man we're looking for.
Yes. Irina sort of like smirks and shakes her head. She says, "Can you do that thing you did with me with him?" Because as you look up, you can see he looks like he's screaming, and you do not hear a word of what he's saying.
Oh, the telepathic thing?
Yeah, the
Do
telepathic
it with
thing.
the light. Do it with the lightning, man.
Do you have a better idea?
You got psionic dice to
Oh,
spend.
that's brilliant. That's brilliant. Nah, I will try and talk to the man if he's brain.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure for that class feature there is no saving throw. It just happens.
Yeah, no. Well, technically, I think no. It just has to be a creature like within my sight of my choosing. I don't even think it has to be willing.
Yeah. Okay. Sweet. Yeah, I'm gonna roll a Constitution saving throw for you.
¿Cómo es aquí?
Cool. Hey, you guys, you see Svetlana, as she like looks up and like makes this telepathic link. You see, her, get blasted backwards, by a bolt of lightning. That just courses like there's like 3 different spots where he's like hitting this field, and you just see all 3 of them just like right into Svetlana, and Svetlana, you are blasted back
Can I
15
interpose?
feet. Give me a second. You just see her like you can like catch her but this just all happens like bam, like a lightning strike, one might even say. And she is knocked back 15 feet. I think you can just like sort of dive in and grab her.
I will.
But yeah, her hair just sort of like frizzes a little bit, and uh, it was a very powerful sensation. You don't actually feel like you were hurt so much as you were just a conduit.
Nice, nice.
Uh,
Right.
Okay.
I think I would literally shake it off like a dog.
okay. You get back up and you look at him, and he's just sort of like
I
just
can't see your face.
like
So
he's just writhing, and seething, and conjuring just like a shit ton of fucking lightning. But yeah, as you
does it seem like he can't? Does it seem like he can't stop conjuring the lightning, or does he seem like he's doing this on purpose?
it seems like probably a healthy dose of both at this point. Like he's like in it to win it, and so he's just sort of like letting the electricity take over almost. But
Does this look like he's achieving anything?
not until Svetlana intervened. And Svetlana, when you connect that next time, there's just this single bolt between him and you, and then you and the ground. And this hurts a lot because there's a tremendous amount of electricity being like forced through your body. But as you're experiencing that, you see him like he's standing right in front of you, and like every part of him is pouring lightning into you. And it's a really raucous experience because you can still see him on the other side of this strange invisible barrier. And he looks at you, and smirks. He's got a big twisted, more like dirty than styled mustache, and a big wiry gray and silver beard. And his robes seem to be like a cosmic sort of indigo, and he has sort of a hat angled, which comes to a peak and then sort of crushes down this velvet fabric, just sort of setting the point of it off center. Xander.
Okay. What what I was hoping to do is an action spell, bonus action, cantrip mastery.
What do you want to do?
What I would like to do is move in, I guess, first towards Svetlana, and I see this lightning arcing up into her. I would like to interpose myself into this electricity and then use its own. Basically, I would, if you'd allow me to expend basically health points to rework this magic into a cure wounds, as I then cantrip mastery and take this lightning and whip it around into a Nolar's white lightning whip, and just kind of like as I pull out my own whip and kind of
You try and like suture, like
yeah
just give like a little demo here.
basically to show like you're casting me off as bullshit and like side knowledge for right now, but I want to show you that it's possible to take this magical and physical energy and convert it into something. I can't do it correctly because I'm me.
Uh,
I have to give up something for this, but I want to at least show you that you could. that you have the ability, or at least the guidelines. I want to show you the guidelines for how you could.
Here's where
But
I
I
think
never
things get
doubted you.
interesting. All right,
I'm not,
so
but you
so
kind of brushed it off.
here's what you see. Here's what you see. As you try and like draw some of this energy, you sort of like reach out, Narasine, and like grab it with your whip, just like manifest, like give it to me as if it was a physical, tangible thing. And as you hook that lightning and sort of like draw it in and like channel it into your weapon, you see the other end of that bolt of lightning grab this guy by his abdomen and start yanking him what looks to be very uncomfortably through this barrier. He is crackling and sizzling and popping. You see like one of the hairs on his mustache just pop like a little like an M80. Just leaving like a thinned hair, and you see him sort of look at it, and then you see more crackles sort of like burning off of him in every direction, and as you're like, see, this is, and then you just bring that like whip around again, and Svetlana, this guy like gets caught in that psychic tether and then slams right into you, causing you to stagger backwards and him to stagger forwards with shock. And as you touch him, he like tries to steady himself and then tries not to touch you and does a bad job and ends up touching you. And is a very, what's the word here? He's an embarrassment to himself. As he sort of like tries to push you away and gets like shoulder, titty.
The classic fumble. Oh
Uh,
no! Oh,
and he really sort of gives you like a more of like a whap than anything else. And then he sort of like
Whoa.
and then he sort of like pushes you away as he sort of staggers backwards, and then you see him start to like look back over his shoulder as if he's about to fall into the ravine. And then you see
The
him.
minute if he starts to fall, I will cast levitate.
Before you get a chance to get that spell off, you just see this like big blue hand grab his robes and pull him back, and stagger forward, and he goes, "Oh, that I didn't actually expect that to work. What did you?" And he starts like leaning in, sort of shaking his finger in Svetlana's face. "What did you do?" And he's sort of hitching up his robes and dragging them through the wet grass.
how much damage should I give to myself for conducting straight magic that I have no affiliation with through me?
So you didn't really end up doing the thing you wanted to do as
okay.
much as you just sort of like were like,
Beautiful. I'll take
I'm
that.
just gonna try and like get some of this energy and
sure, I'll
show
take that.
you. But you know,
was gonna
sort of
help.
a divine scorpion whip, just sort of like yanked this poor dumb old son of a bitch across a very strange sort of barrier.
Okay. I would still like to channel some of that energy into a cure wounds.
Okay. You see, Nola,
For,
you see like
somebody.
you see a little sort of pink like droplet fall, and then, and it sort of turns into little tiny flowers, and then sort of like the petals rain down, and then sort of turn into little sparkles.
Sveti gets back 12.
Was very hurt.
I don't know if I was or not, to be
Yeah,
honest.
you got hit
so.
by that giant lightning bolt, right? There
I,
was
didn't,
No,
I don't
no
think it
damage
caused
from
me
that.
any damage.
Oh, it didn't do you any damage?
No.
Never mind then.
Just
no,
a
I don't
conduit.
think so.
Never mind then. Give me that shit back. I thought you got.
Just die. Sorry, what? Hey, what's up? Sorry.
But yeah, I'll just kind of be standing off to the side, just kind of like I think my hair is kind of like frizzed out.
More, I will say Mordenkainen.
He turns and looks surprised as you say his name. Who told you? Who told? He sort of like leans forward. Then again, he's sort of like hitching up these like heavy robes, which are becoming saturated with dew. And he sort of marches towards you and looks up at you, yeah, seems very surprised that someone would tell his true name.
You gotta fill him in.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh,
Oh
no,
yeah!
Okay, no.
Oh, look at that! Oh my God! As I
They
live
eat-
and breathe,
Okay, look at that
the
too.
one,
Look at that
the
strong
only,
jaw too.
Tiva
on.
Panic.
Eating the fuck out of whatever the hell that is.
Is
that
that
an
is that
Uncrustable?
yeah, exactly.
It's an Uncrustable.
Your mom's an
I do
uncrustable.
that shit for Blurred.
It's perfect road trip food. I have a Prius, which means it's pretty spacious, and so like I have a cooler in the back. It's great. I have dry ice in the cooler, and then ice on top of the dry ice, and it's just keeping all my goodies. I made myself a fucking protein shake with oat milk, and then I have my Uncrustables.
The way your filter blurs things just makes it look like you're holding up like a dildo on social media and you had to blur it out.
You know
Like-
what's so weird is that I didn't even like. Oh, there we go. Boom.
It's just so funny. You held that up and it was just a big blue blur. And I knew it. I know it's your water bottle, but like to some extent, I'm like, that's a big blue dildo.
I mean, anything's
water bottle.
anything's a dildo if you're committed. Yeah, this guy's standing in front of you. He's shaking his finger at you. He's wondering who told his true name to you.
Thumbs up.
I'm just gonna say you've been here in this place maybe far too long. I think more than a couple people know.
Yeah, he sort of looks at you with like one big eye. And he like he looks a little like frustrated by that statement. He leans in and he says, "You think?" And he turns and he walks back towards the edge of the rift, and you see him take extend a hand, and you see other little bits of lightning sort of like cast off. And as it does, you see that it's sort of hitting the interior part of whatever this 30-foot wide fucking barrier is. And he sort of reaches like out to touch it, but his hand passes through what that space is. But when he starts to like conjure again, it seems closer. And he says, curious, always something curious around here. And he starts to sort of like scratch under his hat and pace around nervously.
It wasn't hard.
Hey. If you manage to say break through the barrier, do you think you think
the one that did? All right.
Okay, let's be clear. I'm pretty sure you know why we're here. We're trying to figure out a way out, or maybe
same as everyone else all the time. You come here. You want to kill Strahd. I get it. You want to kill Strahd. Everyone wants to kill Strahd.
I know.
You have a way out of the loop.
More than likely, but still, just if you help us contact some friends on other planes.
His face snaps back towards you.
My brother.
It's your brother. Who planes? Well, and he looks like back across this ravine, and up sort of this rolling green, verdant hill, and you see it sort of like knoll. And then rise again, these large stones and big trees, and you see this like wizard's like tower and structure up in the distance, and he reaches up and scratches his head and he says, so busy thinking about getting here, I don't know how to get there. And he looks back up and he points back towards his tower.
I pull out the crystal. Says, "Will this help?"
He turns and looks over, and
He's
his
whipping that out for everybody. Okay.
yeah, I mean, like,
good at use it somehow, don't you think?
he looks down. I mean, like, you're opening the bag and like showing him the shard.
I mean, we're here to disrupt this thing, and if there's something that can disrupt things in general of this
Okay.
cycle and this place,
He looks down and immediately starts to reach for it.
I pull back and
and-
say, "You are going to help us. We'll help you."
Hey, wait.
Yeah, as you manage to pull that away from him, he sort of like takes a step forward, as if he's enthralled by it. And he says that doesn't do it. I don't know what will. How did you get one? And he looks at you like incredulously.
I traveled and made friends. I'm pretty sure you will know something about that.
He says, "You don't look like the friendly type." And then he sort of like thinks about what he just said, but then he just sort of shakes it off. And he says, "How did you got one? If Strahd has one and you have one," and he sort of like, and he looks up at you, Wretch, and he looks over at Narasine, and says, "What did you say?
Others have them as well.
Who has them?"
I look to Nola and I say, "You said a Sat had one. The Strahd had one."
No, Seth doesn't have one. I said Asterak is looking for one that seems to be here. I don't know if it's the same one that Strahd has, but I believe it's not.
So there may
There
be
might be two. There might be two here, not including this one.
No. Everything would fall apart if there was two. Well, there are two, but yours
There are two.
and this and that one.
So that means everything wouldn't fall apart if there were two. It means that there is a.
But there's not three. There couldn't be three. If there
very-
was three, and then he starts to like look like worried, and you start to see his eyes. They don't like glass over. What you see is like cosmos start to manifest before his eyes, like little galaxies, like nebula,
I'm
start
giving
to
him
form
30
before his
seconds
eyes.
before I smack him out of it.
Yeah, he's sort of like lost in the sauce right now.
He's gonna maybe think of like an idea or like a formula right now based around this. I want to give him a little time because if I smack him out too soon, he's not going to get it. But if I don't wait long enough, I feel like he's just going to start getting real
I
into
just-
it.
I could just bite him.
No,
I again hold my hand
Would you
up. towards-
wait? Would you like to bite him?
Well, not
Svetlana,
right
no.
now. Not right
He's
now.
he's
Not right now.
vulnerable if you wanted to. I'm just saying he's
If
right
I
there.
Fucking bite me, all right? We need this guy.
What does he smell like?
He smells a lot like methamphetamine.
What the
in
fuck?
What?
yeah, no, he smells like real pure power, just like way like off the fucking charts.
A little sour.
But
and
like, I feel like that would be well, okay. I don't know. I feel like to some that might be a good smell, but I feel like that is not a good analogy.
yeah, it's
No,
not
it's like it's like if
like
you
pure Molly smell.
no. It's like it's that like
Mine is clean.
that very like frenetic sort of like hyper energy, but it gives you this like
Four
fiending
Loko.
sensation. Yeah, it's like 6'4" locos
The worst. already.
and a Sparks.
Already no.
Yeah, okay, so no, I look at Miracine and I'm just like, pad.
Yeah, it's very powerful. Whatever's going on there, you'd probably immediately go into a wild search.
I simply just like pull aside.
Really?
I pull
Yeah,
aside
like
my collar.
immediately.
I think that kind of occurs to me for a moment too, and I don't even inch closer, just like centimeter closer, but like stop myself like at a centimeter.
Yeah.
Not right now, please.
Yeah, there's just sort of like a little static electricity on your lips as you're just like a little too close.
Can I just pull my collar a little bit and be like, Sveti, please just drink here, and then reach into my bag and pull out the book and
I
be
don't
like,
need it right now, thank you.
you are kissing that man's neck. You are
You see him break out of his little trance and like and he starts to do like real bad kung fu moves.
don't need it.
No, I don't need it, you silly goose.
Please excuse her. She is
I'm
impulsive
bad.
and sadistic.
Sorry, I was just offering help. That is all.
Offering some help.
No, to
Okay,
help,
okay.
yes.
Morning.
Listen,
Morning, can you
Yeah.
what you
Yeah.
figured out?
What?
What?
Oh, something's different. He looks around. He reaches out. It passes through. He casts like a mage hand, and the mage hand sort of like hits a barrier, and he says, "It's not the same. How's it not the same? It's always the same. Every time's the same. It's this time."
well, oh,
and he
we broke
starts to
two.
look.
We're not the same this time.
We've been two loops. This is our second one.
Svetlana, when you say we're not the same, he rushes over and like gets close to your face like he's gonna touch it, and then like thinks better of it, but he looks like he's trying to like manipulate your cheeks and your
I definitely gnash my face.
yeah. He's still like just far enough away that like he doesn't look like he's gonna be concerned about you trying to bite him, but he's also obviously just sort of like like trying to like grab your face, but not. He's not trying to. It just looks like he already has and is manipulating it. And he says, "But you're not the same, but you are." And then you see this like look of recognition in his eyes, and he says, "Little Sveta."
Did he spell you
Obviously
spell?
not.
He says, no, yes, you did, and he sort of like, he sort of does this like low, like he sort of goes up and looks at how tall you are, and then just sort of brings it down, and he says, "No, that little Sveta," and
Svetlana. Yes, that's her.
I think at that point I would grab his hand
yeah,
and like hold him really close to me and be like, I'm not that little girl anymore. And look into his eyes and see if he has any of the fogginess.
his shit's dappled. But you're not sure if it's cataract or if it's like his soul. Because he's just old and he's like looking right at you, and he seems like very enthusiastic to have like recognized you.
It has been a long while. I'm gonna let go of him at that point.
But like when you're touching him, he seems surprisingly like he's on the fence about it. Like he's like, you've got me, but he doesn't quite want to pull away, but he doesn't want to enjoy what's or be like participate in what's happening right now.
I just let him go anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm like, it's been a while.
He says, you came back. You came, you were here, you were there, you left, you came back. You're back.
Yeah, well, it wasn't really my choice to come back. It wasn't really my choice to leave either, so
no,
he
chooses. He always chooses. And he sort of like looks around, and you can see that he's like specifically not. He's looking anywhere but up towards Castle Ravenloft.
Do you have any way to shield us from him, like from his view? Like, is there any way you could hide us from him while we're here?
He turns around. He sort of like opens up his robes and sort of spins around. He's wearing like some pretty tattered white boxer briefs with little hearts on them. And he has scrawny legs with like an undue amount of silvery gray hair growing over them. And his body is like lithe and sort of hunched over, but he's, and again, sort of patches of silvery gray hair on his scrawny, gnarled body, and he dances around and swirls, and he says, "He'll come for us all. There's something that's different. We don't know what to do. We have to get out. We have to get in. We have to stay in. We can't get forced out." And he turns and he looks back up, and he says, "Svetlana, you're different, and yet you're the same." And then he looks over at Narasim and says, "What's up, bitch?"
I think just while all this is happening, she was initially like, "Aha!" And then she was like, "Oh, okay." And then she just pulled out her book and started like thumbing through it, like, "Okay, no, not this one. Okay, not this one." And she'd just been throughout this conversation basically, "Oh, that is a nice orange sun. I see it through your window."
Yep.
I think she's been searching for Clover's pages, and I think once she's found it, she's like, "Can you help me contact them?" And then just kind of like with two hands is flipping the books around in the direction of where he is.
Um, yeah. As you flip that book around, and he looks at Clover, who's now wearing that sort of deer skull and antler mask.
My
He
brother.
he leans in and looks at it looks like at this picture, and then looks at Narasim's hollow eyes, and then looks back at the picture, and you see his eye, like his eyes do that swirl thing for like a 16th of a second.
Can in that 16th of a second, can I use my once a day disguise self, but not to actually disguise myself, but to basically render myself into the version of myself that I was when I was most connected to Clover, at that point when I gave him my name and when
Right.
that connection was honestly established. That exact moment is what I kind of like reform myself into.
As you flash and his eyes flash, he sort of recoils away from you, and then he looks at Noller, he looks at Irina, he looks at Svetlana, and then he looks up at Castle Ravenloft and points, and there's a crack of thunder as lightning strikes down and hits the top turret of Castle Ravenloft. And as it does, you see a bright blue flash of light, and you see that skull and antlers silhouetted against the blue light. And that is where I'll leave you tonight.
It's just me holding the book up going, "Brother!"
Good God, it's him. We're gonna see
You're
him again.
welcome.
Who knows if this is gonna be for the better?
I do.
Either way, I'm on his
It's not.
side.
It's not for the better.
Family first.
Nothing in this game will happen for the better, guys. I just want to let everybody know now that that's not the game we're playing. Everything's bad.
It'll be fine. I'm sure we all have the exact aligned same endpoints, and we all want the same thing at the end of this. Nobody has any different ending
Any
in mind.
conflicting
You know, I'm 100%
needs or
sure
desires.
that nobody has anyone that they would want to place in a certain spot or whether there's a certain person they need to get. I feel like we're really on the track right now. I feel like we finally
Everybody's
Is there something you're gonna share with the class, Sander?
to
Yeah.
where we've reached a point where we're all moving in the correct direction and where things are really falling.
we're getting that synergy.
Yeah,
I'm
we're
really
getting that.
loving, like, I'm super loving my new telepathic powers.
Yeah, that's what happens if you get angry enough. You manifest telepathic powers.
You can give
Psionic
people
powers.
the silent treatment so fucking bad.
Yeah.
Just tap into their head
I'm
and then
not
give
talking
them
to
nothing.
you. Just talks to everybody else psychically. Like, you haven't said anything in 3 weeks. Please, just say anything. Like,
Nope.
I'm within 5 miles of Jenny, and I'm talking shit right now.
Yeah. Lovely. So, kudos and congratulations on not dying, I guess, y'all. You made a new friend. I think maybe he'll be your friend. He's a little
He's fine.
crazy, y'all.
Seems pretty
I wasn't
useless.
expecting this outcome.
He just let Strahd know that we're calling in another fucking god.
Tomer's not a
First
god.
off, thank you for calling my brother a god and not a demi. Like, first off the bat, I appreciate that respect, and I will log that for later. I genuinely will. That will be a future favor coming in. Like, thank you.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm a pretty simple country girl. Demigod and god, they're all the same to me.
Yeah.
Sure.
Problematic.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to call them, they're
They
problematic.
definitely wouldn't agree, but gosh, it's really, it's real. It's helpful to me.
Yep. Yep.
Maybe I'll be the first follower of Clover and like ascend him into godhood with my belief and
I
praise.
mean, right now, as far as I know, the
Oh,
conditions would be
thank you for
cool
having-
and like
Just
that's
don't.
about it. Don't fuck with him.
Yeah. I mean, he's
Congrats, he gets some power.
y'all are. Yeah. It's gonna
Don't
be
talk about
fun.
the roots.
Boy, I titled this episode "Reunions Part 2," and boy, did that really just live up to the title.
Oh my! I didn't even.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Can I say I'm calling in the big god?
Excellent. Well, any parting shots for y'all? We just want to check with you if there's anything you got like really up your sleeve that you got to get out, or it's gonna itch you for a week. Yeah.
The fucking sun is setting at like 6:30 p.m. these days. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, East Coast it sets at 6:30. Yeah, starts getting dark around 6.
Yeah. Is it already dark over there then, Xander?
Yeah. Yeah, it's already
It's
dark.
like the sun is like hovering over the horizon right now.
It's 9
It
p.m.
is
It's
pretty
been dark.
orange. The smoke has cleared a bunch,
That's
which
good.
is nice. But also, like, goddamn, it's Eastern Washington fucking boring. There is nothing to look at out here. Like,
northeastern Washington for sure. You're like in
So
high
I'm-
desert.
I'm in like southeastern Washington.
What?
though, 'cause
Oh,
I'm
there's supposed to be
driving,
like beautiful mountains in that region. Is it just off the beaten path?
No, it's
Oh
even
God!
all the
It looks like
wrong-
fucking Nebraska. What the hell?
This is where I am right now.
It's corn.
You're fired. Nope.
It's got the
Nope.
ju- it's got the
Nope.
juice.
All right. Good night, everybody. It's been great.
I had it out.
Nope. That was your one. So, with all that being said and done, I must bid you au revoir and sayonara, and remind you as always to be good, to take care of yourselves, and if you can't be good, don't get caught. Good
Corn.
night, everybody.
It's corn.
Fired.
Goodbye.
Bye.